Welcome everybody to the Complete Agent for 2026. We're already up to 26. We have a great group of people that get together every year around this time for the last 3, 4, 5 years and do the Complete Agent, which is really a program meant to, if you take an analogy, you open up the hood of a car and see the engine inside and see how it runs, and you know, let's tweak and make it run amazing. We've got two individuals this time around that have chosen to be a participant, so we can open up their hood and see what's inside their engine as a real estate engine. And we appreciate Mark and Miguel. Thank you so much for joining us. The quote of the week is going to be: "Successful people are often successful because they are willing to do things that others are not willing to do." And that is such a huge quote for me in real estate, because there's so many agents out there that want to do good business, but they're just not willing to get outside their own mind and box and try new things. And of course, Miguel, Mark, you've both had some success as well. So you've already done that, but let's really dive into what we can do here. Now, I guess I don't know if there's any housekeeping really. This is open, and chat dialogue coaching is different than training. Training is me sitting there and teaching you guys things I know, and hopefully you'll learn something. Well, with coaching, it's really diving into things that maybe you're struggling with. It's a lot more interactive. We're here to help and try new things. And I appreciate Miguel and Mark opening up their business to show you guys what they currently do. And there's a little bit of that, I don't know what it's called, but Miguel, is it comfortable? Do you think, looking into the life of Miguel and saying what you do right or wrong?
Hell no. No.
So it's not comfortable,
I
right?
feel like I'm in the hot seat, but it's okay. I'm open to whatever is it lies ahead of me. So yeah, it's not that it's intimidating, I guess, because as you know, I operate in like strange orthodox way. Like it works for me. But I wouldn't say I have it all put together. So when you open up the hood to my car, there are pieces that should be there, but maybe not in the right place. So
Okay. Mark, and when I asked, well, actually, we were talking about it at one of our town halls, and I think, Mark, you put up your hand and said, "Hey, why not?" What made you decide to do the same?
I like sharing what I do. I'm super excited about this, by the way. I do, much like Miguel just said, I do things a little bit differently, and maybe someone will pick something that I'm doing and they want to run with it too. The cool thing about this business is there's no cookie cutter way to go about it, right? So
Mhm.
sharing is what builds us all up.
And for those of you that have been coached in the past, I don't know what coach you used, and I've heard different things from different coaches and what they do. So it'd be interesting to see, what sort of strategies we're going to implement or try and, kind of look at. So if you've been coached and you feel like there's something that we could benefit from with this program, please reach out. Like, we're really open to hear from all of you. We have most of the people joining us are from our company, but we've also reached out to advertise this to others in the industry that may be wanting to be realtors, as well as that are realtors, maybe with other brands. So we're fully open to discuss this and show you guys as well that aren't part of Century 21 what it is we do here. So. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about, and we're going to get to know Miguel and Mark. We're also putting a little question mark on the new agent. Mark and Miguel have both been in the business for somewhat of a time, but we're looking actually to also have somebody join us that is just starting out, brand new, to give a good overview right from beginning as an agent, as Mark is in now 3.5 years. And Miguel, how many years are you in the business?
You're muted.
22. 22.
22 years. So 2 years more than I have been in the business. There you go. It's 22 years in the business. So we'll get that on there, which is impressive. So getting that full dynamic range of different experience points is really important too. So um, let's talk a bit about Mark. Now we're going to go into a personality profile, Mark, in a minute. But let's just talk, Mark. You've been in the business for 3.5 years. and you got through the 2 year mark. 2 years is what I figure is that window of opportunity for an agent to either decide that this is for them or maybe decide it's not. You do that 2 year update with Rico, and you sort of say, do I renew my license? Do I not renew my license? Was it any question mark?
Oh no.
Yeah, you were there.
No,
You
I
said no.
since moving over to this brokerage, and I'll credit our office broker Linus with this. My production doubled last year, so to stop then, why would you, right?
Yeah, keep doubling. That's what we're hoping to
Uh,
do. And in fact, actually, we're going to ask you, Mark, is where you want to see your goal, this year.
Honestly, I haven't put a number on it. I just want to do as much as I did last year, like surpass what I did last year. So constant growth for me is it like I'm not the type of person that's seeking extreme wealth. Let's put it that way. It would be cool to be a Centurion and Miguel Grand Centurion, amazing. But if I'm growing my production, growing as a person, that's all I'm really looking for, right?
So it's interesting. So we're going to, this is the first, opportunity for me to get a bit uncomfortable with people and say, hey, listen, I understand that it's not maybe in your innate wanting to, make a lot of money, but at the same time, I want you to have some goals so we can kind of
Okay.
kind of see where you would like to be. And if it's the same, then it's the same. If it's 50,000 more, if it's 100,000 more, whatever that may be.
Let's put 1.25 there then.
Okay. So we'll do one, whoops, go back. 1.25, and we can change this. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want you to set a goal, well, there's lots of reasons, right? I think anytime you're doing a business plan or goal setting or coaching, I think there needs to be a place you want to be, and it doesn't have to be within the actual financial side of things. I mean, it could be just better quality of life, that sort of stuff. So, that's okay too. Now you made Master Silver. I think after Silver, it's Emerald.
I believe so. I'm not much for the awards, but
That's okay.
but yeah, I
Again,
believe so. Yeah.
that's and we're going to go into personality styles.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But I'm glad you obviously doubled last year, which is amazing. And we'll talk about maybe reasons why you did that as well. And
hmm
then go from there. Miguel turned his video off, but I don't know. Miguel, you still there? There he is. Oh, that's to mute there. Let me mute there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Hmm. So, Miguel, 22 years.
Mhm.
You still love it?
Most days. Yes, most days I do. Are we being honest? I guess we are. Yeah, most days I do love it, and I'm ready to go every day. There are days where I question my career path and career choices, but not for the most part. For the most part, I still love doing what I do. I like the idea of having, some flexibility. I like having no ceiling and essentially being told what I'm worth and when it's directly compared to my effort or my merit. So yeah, for the most part, I still love it. Yes.
Great. And at 20 years, that's sort of the question I like to ask people. 3.5 years, like, okay, what made you get over that 2 year hump? And then, but at 20 years, it's no longer, hey, listen, are you, it's more, where are you at into your love of the business? And at 20 years, it starts to go, whoa, where is this going to take me? How long am I going to be in the business? How old were you, Miguel, when you got your license?
When I got my license at 18, fully licensed at 18.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because there are some agents that have started with us. They're in that 19, 20, 22, 27 range. What's the number one piece of advice you can give somebody who's at 18 years old getting a real estate license? How were you able to be successful at that age?
Um, I don't know how really. I don't know if I was going to pinpoint. I think it comes if I'm studying my life and my career, I think it would come down to the relationships that I have and the type of person that you are. When I first started selling real estate, a lot of my business came from people that I had either worked with that were a manager to me, or coworkers that I had worked with, or people that I played sports with or competed with. Later on, as I got into my 20s, um, uh, friends and family who were just starting their life and getting married. And I think the idea of like every relationship was important. I wasn't the type of kid in high school that had like a certain clique. I was spread around, right? So and I think that has come to help me later in life, where I wasn't really isolated to like one group of people, whether it was the chess club or the football or the whatever. Like it was, I had a lot of variety of people in my life, a lot of interests in my life, and people from all walks of life and interests. And obviously there was some kind of common ground in those connections that sparked a conversation somewhere along the way about real estate. And um being like a steady, consistent, I think, good person that people can rely on and trust, has given me some runway for sure.
Hmm. And I mean, at 18, you don't have, I mean, the biggest question is that you don't have people who are buying houses at 18, like your friends, your network.
No, my friends weren't. No, but like I said, those are. But I started working when I was 14 at Loblaws as a dairy kid. So there were people in the grocery store, like someone who was looking to buy for the very first time. My first client was the boyfriend of the meat clerk that worked beside me. I was a dairy guy. She was a meat clerk. She said, "Oh, my boyfriend wants to buy an investment property." I said, "Hey, I sell real estate, and I can help you." So the first house I sold was to my coworker's boyfriend for $64,000.
Amazing. And that's usually where the first deal comes from too, right? Just the people around you. It wasn't something that you put an ad in the paper and said, come use
No,
Miguel. Oh,
there's
yeah.
like, yeah, and then my second one was my cousin. My cousin was a bit older than me. She had just gotten married. I'm in real estate. It went from, I sold her a house, and then from there, her friends were getting married. So, I kind of springboarded from those, right? So when I helped, her name was Marta. When I helped Marta, um, the meat clerk lady, Christian, the boyfriend, when I helped him, you know, I I certainly, leverage is very important, right? Leveraging that deal, and like, connecting with Marta, whose sister was Denya, who also worked at the store, who also knew so and so at the store. So, being able to like talk about those things at opportune times, like on break time or after work. When my cousin bought, being there for, the housewarming, or being there for what's it called, meeting her friends who then were also engaged or whatever, and starting that conversation. So no, none of my immediate friends did, but it was an a connection or acquaintance from that friendship, or that family member that allowed me the chance to do my first transactions, right? And so
Mhm.
I was also fortunate to get into the business with someone who had been in it for like 40 years, and he was a mentor to me. And so essentially learning the old way of doing business, in terms of like doing the right thing and making sure that the contract is tight, and you're taking care of people, and you've got the people's interest first and foremost, and the commission second, because commission will always come if you do the right thing. If you do the work, the commission will always come. So I think having that mentorship, where it's not like, what Mark says, it's not a, we're not here at a get rich quick scheme. It's not something that like we dabble in. Like I got into real estate very focused on wanting to make a career out of this, because my parents had a shitty realtor at a difficult time in their life, and there was gaps there, and I saw an opportunity to fill those gaps for my Portuguese community in Hamilton. And so like that has always been my focus. That has always been my North Star. And so when I had the opportunity to help somebody, it was always like, do the right thing, do the best you can, make sure you wow them, make sure they love you, you love them like they love you. And ask for a chance or an opportunity to do it again. And those were building blocks that kind of evolved.
Yeah. Thank you. Um, what sort of production were you thinking of doing next year? You're,
So this is a conversation that I have with everybody, right? With like managers and I never set a goal. I know that's wrong. I obviously don't want to my goal is always to essentially make enough to take care of my family. So my wife's to stay at home, and I'm very proud that I'm able to make enough to keep her at home to look after our four children. I think we have a pretty modest life. We have a modest house, we have a modest car, we take a vacation, we like to, order in. And so my goal is always to essentially provide enough income to keep that standard of living. Like Mark, I'm not looking at becoming a, ultra wealthy with, fancy cars and big houses and yachts and fancy vacations. But so I'm fortunate. Like I've done some good just good GCI, but to say like, oh, I want it to be X, I've never set that for myself. For me, it's always I want to do as much as I can, do as good job as I can, plant the seeds, keep doing the work, and hope that that bears fruit. So
well, a good
never a
thing.
number.
I know you pretty well, Miguel, and good thing I'm here to help you set a goal. So I'm setting it for you. How's that?
But yes, if I say my career goal would be to hit seven figures.
That's where I was going. And I was going to put this here anyway. Yeah, I think that that would be a pretty amazing thing for you next year is to break that $1 million mark. And I know it's not about the money; it's about growing as an individual and having, that pat on the back that you're not looking for, but I think you're self motivated, right?
Mhm.
And I think that that's nice to do. A
I was
great,
gonna jump in and say, if
yeah,
you forced me, you better force him to put a number
Oh,
down.
don't you worry. I wasn't going to let him get away with
Very fair. Very fair.
it.
I can
Um,
tell we've got some great similarities, Miguel.
yeah,
It's great.
there you go.
Can I jump in for just a second
Yeah,
there?
Mark, go. Yeah.
I think between the two of us, what we were saying is do the right things and do the work and let the production happen.
I think that's a good mindset because that's the first thing we're going to go into, and it is mindset. There's some innate math involved when you're talking about goal setting and business planning and making sure things work out and being able to sort of see if you do X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, D will happen, sort of thing. Like we're going to go into that, right? And in order to get the results we're looking for, whether it be financially and or just in your quality of life as well, because I think that would be pretty amazing if we could either do the same or more money, and work less, less, or I say less hard. That's not even a word. Not work as hard in order to get that result. And Miguel, we've talked about that in the past as well, right?
I know I haven't cracked the code yet, though.
Well, you've cracked some sort of code because I'll be honest, 700, and at the Grand Centurion level, without a major support behind you, it's very difficult to balance life and business. So we can definitely, you know, look into that as how you were able to do that, but maybe even do it more efficiently. So looking at the mindset, and that's great to start things off. We are going to talk about it, your organization, of course, and making sure. I think the organization part will definitely save a lot of time and frustrate and headache. Your marketing process, your business plan overall. We're going to go into prospecting for a new business, should that be something that is in your business plan. Buyer journeys and seller journeys. That's our service end of things. How are we going to get that easy business, which is the repeat referral stuff? It's not only easy business, but it's also the best business because they will treat you better than the online lead that wants to use and abuse you. And then that, of course, is everything to have that complete agent mentality and set your business up for success. So the agenda when we talk every Monday, we're going to be talking about your sphere of influence, the people around you, the people that got you business, Miguel, when you first started, as well as that continues to have that good business moving forward. Prospecting for new business is fill in the funnel. If you want to make more business, if you want to do more business next year, and you wanted to maybe leverage either your time in prospecting or let's be honest, like some money and work smarter, not harder, and put any budget towards having the phone ring. That's prospecting. So we're going to talk about how the two of you are doing that. Follow up on the current prospects. So it's always the follow up that really is the reason why you'll convert. It's not the lead necessarily, it's the follow up. People do not just show up and buy the same day typically. They are going to need you to stay on top of them and get them to the point where they're transacting. Working your CRM and being organized with the CRM is super important, like really important. If you're not using a current CRM, unlock that in your business plan to see how you could be more efficient and more organized. And then listings and buyers. So, talking about any of your current buyers that are looking for property, maybe current listings and what you're doing to get them sold. And really talk about the market today, opposed to the way it was. Implementations and review throughout what we want to go through over the course of the next 12 weeks is talk about mindset, organization, tax planning, accountability, business planning, sphere marketing, paid advertising, prospecting, social media. We want buyer presentations, listing presentations, and we are going to be using something called the playbook, which is my next topic. And I'm going to go in and out of slides here because it is interactive. The playbook is going to help organize us. We implemented this last year and built it out during the coaching sessions we did a year ago. And we're going to continue to move that forward. So every week we're going to change it up and add and make it better. How you get on the playbook is you go into Google, sign in, top right hand side to your Century 21 email address. So that will be your sign in. And if you scroll down to in the app section, right down to the bottom, you'll see all the things that we've implemented or within the Google platform for single sign on for you. And Heritage Playbook is in there. C2 Heritage Playbook. So let's just have a look at that. Let's go back. All right. So I'll actually take it right from Google. So you click on the Google Apps. Mark and Miguel, have you guys been into the playbook?
I have been a little bit when it first started, but I haven't seen it recently, no.
Okay. Mark, have you been in there?
I've been in there.
No.
Am I super familiar with it? No.
Okay. So the playbook, you can also get in if you're in Remarketer. It's also in the brokerage hub there, so we make it easy to get in two places. So you click on that, and then I'm going to probably pop right in because I'm already signed in from earlier today. But it would ask you to sign in with your Google account, and it's just thinking. Let's see if I'm already signed in here. No. I don't know why it's taking so long. I'm just going to go over to the side until it's signed in here because I'm not going to wait for it. Where are we? Complete agent. There we are. Okay. As it signs in, there is a section in the playbook. It looks like this. It's business planning and accountability. In that section, we're going to have a lot of links there for you. And as soon as it gets logged in, which I might just get out and try it again. Right down. Playbook. It just doesn't like me. Well, there's always backup. We are going to go into the business assessment, the business plan, but what I'll do is I'll jump into the next section while that is trying to sign in. And that is your DISC assessment. So I don't know if everybody noticed when we were talking to Mark and Miguel about their business and who they are. Underneath Mark's name was the networker. Underneath Miguel's name was the dynamo. And those are two assessments that were done through the Tony Robbins DISC assessment program. Part of the playbook as well, there's a clickable link to get into this DISC assessment. So you can get it at tonyrobbins.com/DISC or go into the playbook as soon as it logs in. And your guide to your DISC assessment is, Miguel, you've done DISC before, right?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And Mark, have you done DISC before?
Yeah, funny enough, the last time I took it, I was a coach.
Yes, you were. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it does change based on your answers. I'm going to go into a little bit about what DISC is and explain yeah, a little bit about what DISC is. Here's the playbook. It can't be reached, of course. I don't know why.
Aaron, I have it up if you want me to share.
You want to share a
I
screen?
don't know. Well, I don't know what that does to your presentation, but I
I can.
can if you want.
Well, oh, it's up.
Okay, good.
Okay, we're in the playbook. In the playbook, we've divided into sections for sellers and buyers. We've something called the team playbook for those who are building teams to provide them some support. Clients with tenants as well as landlords, which is down there. Technology systems are all our technology systems recognition awards. If you're new to real estate, our quick start program, pre-construction, if you're looking for pre-construction, mindset, everything to do with real estate's in here, mindset and culture, marketing and branding, learning and development, etc. Lead generation, landlords, industry services, health and wellness, RICO and compliance committees, commercial services, and there's one more page that has business planning and accountability. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So when we click on business planning and accountability, the personality test is the Tony Robbins DISC assessment. So if you click on that, it'll tell you a little bit about it. And what I'm going to explain what a DISC is a little bit, just to give you guys an overview. Everybody has a different personality, and it's made up of four main characteristics. And it is made up. So it doesn't mean you're only D or I or S or C. So DISC is spells DISC. And you're going to have a little bit of one, the other, low in other areas. And what the assessment says, you may be low in one area and high in another, but what it does is allows us to start thinking about people's personality styles and looking to what works best for them. And it could be personally, which we're going to talk about with Miguel and Mark, or it could be working on a deal with somebody and negotiating and knowing their personality style. If they're high dominance, you're going to treat them a little differently. And if you know how to treat them differently, you're going to be able to help motivate them to take a lower price, for example. So when anytime you're going to take a course on negotiation, DISC is going to come up. Anytime you're going to talk about business planning and looking at self assessment, DISC is going to come up. There are different type of DISC assessments. DISC is I'd say the world leader when we talk about personality styles. People talk about DISC. Do you guys know the name of the other one that's out there? There's another one out there that's Briggs something, the Briggs something. Anyway, it's another way of measuring personality assessments, but it goes into a lot of different combinations of your disc, and it comes up with a different assessment. Tony, yep, go ahead, Rob, or Miguel, yeah.
The one thing that I struggled with, and I'm not sure if anybody else has, is when you're answering those questions, it doesn't tell you in what context you
Yep,
are answering them from.
I agree.
So me as a dad is less aggressive and less assertive as me as the negotiator. And so it was very hard for me, or I found it challenging for me to kind of, and like, what angle am I answering this from? Am I answering this as a husband, as a realtor, as a dad, as a person, as a friend, as a business owner? So you know, I just took the approach of like, who am I most like in all of those hats? And I don't know if that's the right approach or not, but that's certainly the one that I did. But I was stumped many times and like, well, I am this, in this situation and also this, but it depends what the situation is and what hat I have on. But mostly overall, I am X. So that's how I approach it. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but maybe there's no right answer. But I'd be interesting to see how, like, what angle you answered it from. Is it the business owner? Is it the person? Is it who?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. As a salesperson or as a worker, right? Doesn't matter where I worked in life. I had different jobs and stuff like that. I always thought myself as a driver. I want it done. I get it, make it work, make it happen. So I was a D personality, and of course, more from a now that I'm owning a business, I think of things a little bit more C, right? Like I'm trying to be a bit more. So I've done disc assessments in the past, and was surprised when I was more in the compliance role that I was answering the questions more compliance way. Yeah, it's definitely interesting when you do it. Mark, when you did it the last time, yours went from coach to what you are now, which we're going to talk about, and that is the networker. So, and that could be that you're answering the questions like my business, I need to get out there and talk more, and that's what I'm focused on. So that's how you answered, right? The question a little differently. Whereas coaching, you are the person in the office that wants to work as a team and help others out, right? So now, in terms of explaining it for those who have never heard of DISC before, I really kind of want to give you an overview of this. There are four different areas, right? So with DISC, and that's why I like DISC, is it simplifies it a little bit too simplified, but that's okay. We start there. D is dominance, which is your direct, decisive, strong negotiator. Your CEOs of organizations typically would look for somebody who's driven to make something succeed. I will talk about the unfortunate other side of D personalities. They jump around a little bit. They're not as loyal. Ds often make mistakes, etc. I's, influencers. These are the energetic, persuasive relationship folks, strengths and excellent at prospecting, networking, and they may lack some follow-up through structure. These people are the life of the party. You walk in, you can hear them in the corner. Wow, they're just laughing, and everybody's around them, and they're talking. So they're the talkers. S is steadiness. This is the quiet person, loyal, patient, short, service-oriented, strength and strong client care and long-term relationships. And then they need to watch out for difficult conversations. They're not typically going to want conflict. So that's your steadiness. Conscientious, the compliant person, the analytical, detail oriented, systematic, strong with contracts, pricing, compliance. They overanalyze and delay decisions. It's the opposite of D. They're not going to necessarily make a decision quickly and go for it. Okay, so they're more careful. So those four styles, as we kind of back out of this a little bit and go back into, well, where is it? There we are. Back into the DISC assessment, we have the networker. And that is Mark today. There he is, networking. His DISC styles have that wants to gain approval, popularity, recognition for their efforts. You do feel good with the pat on the back, very good at promoting and gaining attention. Very outgoing, eager to meet all types of people, brings casual open presence, likes to see everybody engaged in positive ways, likes informal, exciting environments with lots of interaction, may become disorganized and may struggle focusing on those tasks, may focus a bit more on speaking, less on listening. Excellent people skills, sense of humor, but tend to promise more than maybe they can deliver. Now, Mark, that's not always the case with you, but what do you think in general?
I really struggle with these, to be honest with you, because I feel like I'm balanced, probably more than most, balanced in all
Yep.
four of the letters, as evident by it being a different result this time, right? And maybe
Hmm.
that has to do with what's currently going on in my life right now versus when I last took it.
Hmm.
Um, so there's definitely a lot of things that are true there, and some that I would maybe say aren't so true.
Yeah, there's a few people I know, and you may be one of them that is like I can pretty much see a little bit of everything in them, and it depends on the situation. I will tell you though, there are people that stand out as like, wow, yeah, no, that person's an I personality, and that person's a driven person, and this person's quiet and conservative. So yeah, to be somewhere in the middle. That's great. Remember that this isn't just for you. This is also to understand how others may either perceive
Mhm.
you and or you perceive others and their personality styles too. Um,
Yeah, I always thought with these it would be interesting for people that know you the best to also do it.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So when I communicate with you, Mark, I'm just curious, does this ring true, right? If I gave you an immediate incentive, like if next week, did you go, but you don't know, you're just like, yeah,
I
not so
don't
much
think so.
incentive. Yeah. Put the
Well,
details in
depending
writing.
on what it is, I suppose.
Put the details in writing. Don't plan on discussing them too much. Join in with some name dropping. Talk positively about people and their goals. Be certain to specific specify instructions on continuing action, provide testimonials from people. So Mark sees the importance of prominence, be engaging, stimulating, offer input, and don't stick too rigidly to the agenda, get bogged down in facts or figures, be cool. This sounds a little bit like a D personality, Mark, somebody that, doesn't want to take the time to sit down and go through the details. Um, don't talk down to Mark. Let the
I would
discussion
agree with that one.
let the discussion with Mark get caught into dreams too much. Otherwise, you'll lose time. Be impersonal or judgmental, and don't leave decisions hanging in the air. Be certain on those decisions points have reached closure or results of plans for action. Let's talk about Miguel a little bit.
To us,
To a perfect evening.
cheers.
Delicious.
Your personal direction. Use the power of influence to direct people in positive action. You'll be a mover or shaker. Variety of methods. I agree with that one. A general characteristic ability to engage and inspire others to action. Verbalizes, directs, and points the way for new opportunities. Engages their motivation with enthusiasm and energy. May be seen as manipulative, argumentative, and abrasive. When stressed, when stressed. If you're stressed, keep in mind some may perceive their enthusiasm as an attempt to manipulate them, and enthusiastically directs others towards positive action. So the dynamo is a high I. They're influencers. They are the people that are going to be, chatting it up, right? And what you want to do is, if you disagree with Miguel, take issue with the methods of procedures, not with the person. So don't make it personalized. Put the details in writing. So details, again, to explain Miguel the actual, but don't plan on discussing them too much. Be certain to conclude the communication with modes of action and specifically instructions for the next steps. Stay on track. Hit the major points first, get the main point quickly, motivate and persuade Miguel to pointing out objectives, expected results, engaging, stimulating, fast pace. Give Miguel the opportunity to express opinions and make some decisions. And with you, Miguel, I don't want to get bogged down in facts, figures, or abstractions. Confuse or distract Miguel from the issues at hand. Leave loopholes or vague issues hanging in the air. Engage in rambling discussion. Don't waste Miguel's time. That's part of the D as well. Speculate widely about factual support. Let discussions, Miguel, get caught in dreams too much. Otherwise, you'll lose time. Forget about or lose things necessary for a meeting or project. What do you think, Miguel?
Yeah, it's pretty on. How did you get that clip with me and Tammy Lohman? Did she put that on?
Yeah, well, I called her this morning and we just, now that's on your Facebook, bud. Now, the reality is that it was a picture of you and
To
Tammy.
us,
To a perfect evening.
cheers.
That was on your Facebook.
That's hilarious. She must have put that
I
on.
made it into a video for you.
It's fun.
There you go. So when we are talking mindset, we do have to, get outside the box right now, right? In this whole exercise of talking about your businesses. When do you guys get up for business or for work in the morning? Miguel, when do you get up for work in the morning?
When?
Yeah.
When Ben jumps in my bed, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30 usually, 7 a.m.
6:37. And you get you do a routine every morning, or is it all over the place? Routine?
Geez. There are targets in the routine, but mostly all over the place. We will get to where we need to be, but not always in the same way or in a straight line.
Do you go to work as an office every day?
No,
No. So it depends on the day.
depends on the day. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Mark?
Well, I can tell you that Miguel and I's lives are very different, but interestingly enough, not so different with this. I'm married, no kids. Miguel's got four, so there's probably a little bit more structure to Miguel's time than myself. I don't have a regular I don't have a regular wake up time. It's sort of dependent on what I have going on in the day. Like this morning I was up at 6:30, had a meeting at 7. Tomorrow likely will be very different.
Right. And so you don't shoot the messenger on the coaching, but I've been through many, many coaching and different seminars on this. And every single coach will say, get into a routine. You need to get some sort of structure. And Mark, you may actually be a lot easier to structure, as you are going to be easier to structure because you don't have people pulling you in different directions the way Miguel will have, right?
Right.
He'll have his kids and different things that they're doing, whether Laura will be, hey, Miguel, we got this going on this week. Okay, we'll do that. And then it's all over the place, right? So He's shaking his head. Yeah, up and down. Yeah, yeah, that's true. And so although we are pulled in different directions, if you have a family and you can get them to buy into your business, Miguel, how did you get the family to buy into you as a realtor? Because that's the hardest thing for people with families.
Yeah, so because I started so young, like I was in real estate before I met Laura.
Hmm.
And so Laura has just known me as a chaotic, all over the place, person that is in real estate. And it's true. Having Laura uh as a partner by my side, like having her have that flexibility and understanding certainly allowed me to be successful, right? So I mean, it's not just me. Certainly people around me, like and when I'm not at home, I have Glennis in the office that is also a backbone to kind of keeping me in line and making me do the things that I do. In terms of buy-in, you know, I don't know. I really don't know how Laura bought in. I mean, with kids, it's difficult sometimes to hear like, Daddy, how come you have to work again? How come you're out again? How come you're doing this? How come you're doing that? And I just for me, like, I'm very open with them and saying like, if we want to do these, so Ellie loves ordering in and going out. She's a foodie like her dad. It's not her fault. She comes by it honestly. And so I say, if we want to go to East Side Mario's and stuff like that, Daddy needs to work, right? So I have to, I try to coach them in like, if we want to do these types of things happen by Daddy doing these things. And so they understand that, I guess. So, and the other thing is, I would say when I do have flexibility or time, then we blow it out of the water, right? So the idea is like when I'm not there and I can't be there, I can't be there. That's, they obviously, understand that. And Laura does a very good job, obviously, as my wife in filling in with that. But when I am, man, am I really there, right? Like like I said, we blow it out of the water. So that's like when we have those moments, we really make those moments count. And I think when they have those things to recall on and do when I'm not there, it's less of a gap because they know that when I am there, like we're we're doing quality time. We're going out and getting manicures and pedicures. Yes, I do that. I love that. I'm a spa lover. So we certainly try to get to do things and make that time count. And when I can't be there, I can't be there. But I think that often is counterbalanced with having somebody in your life like Laura who fills in for you when you're not there. You know,
Yeah. And you work 40 hours a week?
I would say I probably work 60 to 80 hours a week.
Yeah. And Mark, do you work 40 hours a week?
I would say so. Obviously fluctuation, but sometimes work harder, sometimes depending on, time of year might be less.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the benefits of being in real estate is the flexibility of hours, and sometimes that gets people into trouble. And the question is, do you really work 40 hours a work week? The mindset and moving forward, and this is one of the reasons why I love having a new agent join us as well, is the fact that that 40-hour work week is going to be tough to put in when you first start because what do I do? I'm not showing properties and doing negotiating deals. That 40-hour work week we're going to talk about is structure and routine of making sure that you're filling the funnel. Miguel might be to the point where he doesn't need to fill his funnel anymore. He's got 500 people that know him.
I'd
That's
like
going
to
to give
get
him,
back to 40-hour work week, actually. That would be.
yeah. There we go. Then that's, something to aspire to. But if you looked at every day and said, I need 2 hours of prospecting, I need 2 hours of follow up, I need another 2 hours to put aside if I've got showings, and I've got to time block my personal life. I've got to make sure that all the kids' events and things I need to be there for are time blocked, and you're going to make them. You got to be able to say, it's not say no because I don't think there's ever a no when you're talking about clients and customer service. It's always, don't worry, how can we make this work? Yeah, okay, we'll get help, right? Or whatever that may be in order to manage your time, right? And still attend the kids' events and continue to have a relationship with your spouse. Um, so there is the far side of that, and then the other side of, I think a lot of people might be on here and go, how do you fill the day? Right? And we're going to go through the complete agent. So don't worry. We've got a ton of things you should be doing. That's okay. You're going to start writing down things with your business plan that you're going to be working on, and you just need to do it and not put it off. And that's going to be tough for people. They always put off the things they don't want to do. Nobody really likes the prospecting. Some people are innately better with it, but nobody really likes reaching out and meeting new people. It's a little outside the box. So, um, we are going to go through calendars and time blocking and tax accounting. The whole secret agent, this is what a lot of people are, especially on the disc scale of the S's and C's. They're usually the secret agents, the ones that don't know they're real estate agents, and then of course the D's and the I's. And Mark and Miguel fall within the D and I prospecting side of things. Um, they're not. They're not shy. You're not shy. You're gonna get out with people, and that's why you guys have done the business you've done, right? If anybody feels that they are the S and the C, feel free to unmute yourself and go on camera and share some of those insecurities that you may have, because being that secret agent, you're not going to do a lot of business. Organization. This is a bunch of lines and a bunch of letters, and everybody has these letters and lines. The question is this your letters and lines, or is this your letters and lines? These are the same letters, same lines, but this is organized. You understand what that is. You do not understand what that is. So, a lot of your computers and your desks, and do they look like that? Because if that's the way they look, you're that person, right? And that's usually not a C or an S person. That's usually the D's and the I's, right? They're selling houses. They're out selling houses right now, and those are the last 50 houses they sold and all the information that they need to get to the office, and they've been getting bugged to get the information in, right? So how do we get that organized? And when you're first starting out in this coaching session, we want you to, both Mark and Miguel, is to take some thought this week into making sure that you have everything organized on your desk. You have the cleaned up CRM, and you're really making sure you're starting the year fresh. I used to keep my buyers and sellers in folders on my desk. I'm a digital person, but when it comes to the mindset of keeping an eye on follow up, I need to see it. I need to see the physical folders on my desk. So I bought a nice physical folder thing that was it goes from the front, which is most important, all the way to the back, and then I color coded each one as to where they're at in the deal process, right? So having that visual, some people have what do they call, Miguel, those vision boards. You ever done a vision board?
Have I ever done a vision board? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us what a vision board is.
And the ones that I've done, it's like things that you aspire to be or do or accomplish or acquire. And the last one I did, I think, was with Chris Leader Coaching, which was like, in your personal life, in your professional life, in your, you as a person, what do you want for yourself? And I think you take images or words that essentially represent those, so that when you're working and you look at that, like, it gives you motivation, gives you guidance, gives you direction to like why we're doing the things that we're doing, because that's who we want to be, or that's what we want to buy, or where we want to, what we want to accomplish or achieve.
Yeah, if ever anybody's watched the movie or read the book The Gift, that's about having a vision. If you picture it every day, it will happen. That type of karma mentality. If surround yourself with good people, good things will happen. Surround yourself with a picture of a Ferrari, eventually you'll own that Ferrari. Having that vision. It could be family as well, right? So Miguel, I'm sure your picture of your kids would be up on your vision board. A picture of Kelsey's or whatever restaurant you like to, the keg. Mark, have you done a vision board before?
I have not, but I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just something as I've heard coaches be all about vision boards. Most are, and then other ones are like, nah. I'm a deep person. I just get it done, sort of thing. What do you need a stupid vision board for? So like you got all these different people. I've heard it all. I personally think that it does help visualize where you want to be. Helps with goals and where you want to accomplish. It could just be a picture of a sunset. Who knows? right? But that's where you want to end up at the end of the day. And if you put thought to it, then it will happen. If you don't have goals and you don't have vision, it's just never going to occur. The things you want in life just do not happen because they just hit you in the face. It's because you work hard and you accomplish your goals, and then give yourself a pat on the back. Get yourself, the car you want. Get yourself the cottage you want, or whatever it is that you aspire to should be up in front of you every day to get you to aspire to get there. Obviously, this person has aspired to, I don't know, be in chaos. Um, does it look like this? They've got a vision board up at the left-hand side with some pictures of things. This is the sort of workspace we need to be at. If you don't have a workspace, you need one. Everyone needs a workspace. Working from your car is not good enough. You need to sit down and organize yourself and be at a place where you enjoy working, because you will need to do paperwork at some point in time in your career. And if you hire somebody to do it, then they should have a nice workspace and it should look like this, right? And then you can be out on the road, no problem. You can accomplish it all. If you're this person, you can hire somebody to be this person. That could be Miguel's next, or maybe Miguel's already there actually, and
Yeah.
having somebody look
I hope
after.
Glennis's place looks like that because mine looks like the other.
This is Miguel's and this is
Yes,
Glennis's.
that's
And this is Miguel's new business, and this is what how it gets done. So that's okay, and that's what coaching's about. It's about finding a solution to somebody's innate personality difference that will get them there. And you can't be everything. You can't always be a Mark Strauss. Sorry, I'm going to say Strachan. I hope you don't mind, Mark. By the way, everybody, if you call him Mark Strachan, Mark Strawn, or Mark Strand, it's all right. That's what he told me. He says it could be any one of the three. But the real pronunciation apparently Strachan, because he's from Scotland, or at least his background is.
Yeah,
Yeah, right, Mark.
going back a few family members ago to get us back to Scotland.
Okay, well there you go.
And the accent faded a few generations ago, I think.
So we talked about this. What time do you wake up? Do you put yourself aside a self time for physical? Every year I say I'm going to do that. That's where I need to go next. Mental health. This is a big thing nowadays. It really, really, people have unlocked that secret to health and happiness. Is mental health first. Make sure that you've got strategies in order to get your head right, and then treat your body right, and then you'll get to work right. And that is so important. Good support systems in place. Those who are around you, surround yourself with good people, good things will happen. And of course, holding you accountable. Everybody needs an accountability measure. We have some different ways to hold you accountable. One of them is an app, which is great. It was Chris Leader developed this app, $1 million in some of his time. He put together an app that tracks goals as well as actionable events that give you points, and it's kind of like Weight Watchers for real estate. I can show everybody how to use this. My suggestion today is just to download it and play with it a little bit, and then we'll start talking a little bit as we go. But this gives some real accountability and measures and ideas for prospecting throughout the next 12 weeks for all of everyone on this, because we are going to innately track Mark and Miguel in terms of their actions. So we're going to look at every week and see what their chosen actions are. So are they sending out newsletters? Are they doing pop buys, calendars, note cards, birthday cards? Are they taking people out for lunch? Are they doing cold calls, door knocking, prospecting stuff? What is it that's going to be in the business plan of Miguel and Mark? And it's the same thing in here as an app. We're going to have a bit different visual and just track the two of them with an easy spreadsheet. So Miguel and Mark, it's a little bit of work at the end of the week, but if you can, I'll get you guys going on it. But just track some of these things that you did last week, and that way you can come and talk about all those, calendars you handed out or whatnot. So we'll get into that. I do talk about this at the beginning of every business plan or at the end of every business plan. It's so important that it's in our quick start program for new agents. But again, it's a reminder for those. It is tax season, so you probably don't need the reminder right now. If you didn't do this last year, you're probably pretty motivated to make some money next year because you're going to be paying your taxes that you have not held back. And so, as a first year agent, if you've had some success, my suggestion is you give us a call or just email heritage.accounting and hold back your HST. We'll do it in a separate account. We'll always have an accounting for you, or hold back a percentage of your gross incomes for your personal taxes. And if you do that once a year, you can ask for that amount, and it's already pre-done. It's kind of like a little, bit of a, we're not going to employee mentality, but anybody who's worked as an employee before don't have to worry about taxes. It's done for you. Well, now it's your turn. You got to do them. And if you're not doing them or holding back money and you're spending it all, you're getting yourself into trouble. And this is the number one reason why top producers go bankrupt. And we've had many people in town that I know have had some financial difficulties because they're making all this money and thinking it's all theirs, and they go and spend it, and then they get into that issue. So, big suggestion here. What I got into at the end of my selling career, it was putting 50% of everything aside, and I had a tax account, an HST account, and an advertising account. And that way, once a year, I could take out the money from my advertising account, and I already had it pre-earned tax or account, or sorry, ah, pre-earned marketing, that I can put towards my business plan for next year. Anybody who has done this, they were able to work smarter, not harder, and actually have a better quality of life because what they did was they started to turn money into return on investment. Most agents are doing their business 80% through their sphere of influence, which doesn't cost a lot of money. It just costs time and a little bit of money to keep in touch with them. But if you put that extra money aside, you can start doing things like online advertising or geo farming, sending out news flyers and all that kind of stuff. And that's really where the top producer mentality comes in is, yeah, in that section. Miguel?
I've been on both sides of that, and it's much better to be on the withhold side.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not surprised you say that, Miguel, because anybody who's made money in this industry knows what I'm talking about.
I'm not going to have a whole lot to add to this because I married smart. I married an accountant.
Nice.
So I literally have a box right there that I just stuff everything into.
And she doesn't let you just go spend all your money, Mark?
She gives me a pretty good runway, in my
That's
life.
good.
Not gonna lie.
Freelance.
But she helps you in terms of saying, hey, listen, you make 100,000, that's not all yours. Yeah, or are you pretty good with that?
She takes it and stocks it or gives it to our financial advisor.
Okay. So she's
Yeah, she's
helping.
opening a. We're opening a prac right now too.
Yeah, you can get to the point where when you're making extra money and you have two incomes or one big income, it makes sense to go into a corporation and hold some of that money back into a corporation paying less taxes. As soon as you take the money out for your personal income, you're always going to pay that tax, right? But having that little holdings, and it helps organize you too, and says, let's keep some money back for advertising and stuff. So if you have a prec, feel free. You don't have to ask us to hold it for you. You can hold it yourself, which I suggest everybody does. But we also know that not everybody is that organized or knows how to do this. So I implore you, if you are in a situation where you're not organized from a tax or financial standpoint, give us a call. We can help you through it. We're not accounting people. We'll end up telling you to talk to a financial advisor accountant, but we want to get you there. We want to tell you, we do have some services to help you, and this is what helped me for my 10 years when I, was selling for 10, right? And it made a big difference. I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go into the playbook. And I am going to get to the business planning section because that's what we're going to have for homework this week. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. We're about an hour in. We usually go a little over. In the past, we have. So I'm just going to go into the business planning accountability. There are a few things for support systems. I'm not going to get you guys to do this today, but the very first thing is a business assessment. And with the assessment, I might get you to just do this for next session, is just answer the questions. I'm just going to click on the clickable links. And it's going to ask you some questions like, do you have clear and personal professional goals? Do you know how many face-to-face appointments each week you need in order to accomplish your goals? Do you have an effective pre-listing appointment? Do you have formalized listing presentation, a buyer presentation? Do you know what percentage of seller appointments convert to listing contracts? Are you able to communicate exactly what sets you apart from your competitors? Do you have a business plan with a budget and a forecast? Do you have a strategic marketing plan that incorporates video? Do you have an active social media plan? Do you know the original lead sources of all your transactions? Do you have a repeat and referral generating strategy? Do you use a CRM? Do you have a lead follow-up system? Do you follow a schedule? Do you review the numbers results weekly and monthly? Do you use online reviews or video testimonials in your marketing? Do you know how to overcome the primary objections for most buyers and sellers? Do you have a defined lead and client journey map? Do you have lead generation website? These are all things that incorporates a pretty good business plan. And if you can answer these questions from 0 to 5, from not doing it at all to mastering it, in the end, you can start highlighting those that you really need work on and you need to have in place. And then that's going to be part of your business plan. And that's the next, I'll just go back. That's the next section is the business plan. Just so you know, the personality test is in there too. So you do the business assessment, the personality test to see what type of personality you have, do your business plan. We've had our business planning sessions in the month of January, and I've gone to each of the offices. If you didn't get a chance to do it, if you click on the business plan, we have a video to show how to do the business plan, and then we also have the actual business plan, which is the PDF resource. If you click on that PDF resource here, it will pop open a Google page that has the business plan as well as some of the other things just to if you need resources. But there's the business plan, and you can print that off and or just download it. You can fill in the information here. Miguel, Mark, I know you've both been to my business planning session. So for next week, if you can, and this is going to be part of also doing and knowing what actions you're going to have in here, and I'll share this with both of you, but we need to know what actions you're doing to get results this year and what you're going to focus on. Okay, so back to here, these within the first section is the sphere of influence. We are going to need to know, are you going to be doing newsletters? Are you going to be doing pop buys and calls and note cards and calendars and events and birthday, and if you are going to do them, how many are you going to do, right? Based on how many addresses you have. This is all part of your business plan. We do it in quick starts. We do this for business planning. If anybody has not done this yet, we have the video for you to watch to how to do this and fill this in. It will help you focus on what actions you're going to need to do this year in order to get the results. The first section is the sphere of influence, which is the people you know. The second section is paid advertising. If you're going to put some money to paid advertising, this is great this year because I know Miguel's got a nice plan for that. And then prospecting, are you going to be getting out there? And this is, a little bit up Mark's alley too, because I know he's been doing some prospecting, lead follow-up, online leads within the paid advertising as well. And there's a little worksheet if you want to do some door knocking, and like how many doors do I need to knock this year to make 100,000? We've got some statistical math things that can help define exactly what you need to do action-wise to get the amount of result that you're looking for. So again, it's about a 1 hour, video that goes through it all, which I'm not going to go through with everybody today, but this is an exercise that both of you have done. And we just want to see those results. So we'll get those next week, and we'll get this transferred over to the complete agent accountability spreadsheet. And this will allow Mark to go in and say, yes, I'm doing mailed newsletters, and they went out. And it usually it's once a month. So you went out one of the weeks for February, and how many went out, and then we can start tracking all your actions. The most important part about all this, Mark and Miguel, is that you're going to have results, right? You're going to get listings. You're going to deal with buyers and get buyers, but
daunting.
I can tell you, if you're not doing any of this, you're going to see zeros here. Yeah. If you're doing a ton of this, you're going to see a lot of, this is the math we were talking about. I mean, it's just, if you talk to as many people if you did 100 pop buys every week for your 400 people, Miguel, for the next 3-4 weeks, you're going to get a listing presentation. You're going to find a buyer there because you're talking to so many people that'll give you the results. The reason why it's not always consistent is because you'll get busy, selling houses, and then you haven't talked to people for a while. And then it'll going back to, prospecting. And it's kind of, but if we can get into a bit of a routine of every week doing about 2 hours out of every day, then it's always consistent and the engine just keeps running, right? So do you already know, Miguel, some of the things that you're going to be doing?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So just going through it, just curious, Miguel, do you do pop buys? Sorry, we didn't hear you.
Oh, shit.
Uh,
Yes,
Did,
yeah, I do. I
yep.
do. Yeah.
You do pop buys? I put business pop buys here. Somebody else did that. Actually, it was last year. There was pop buys for personal, like, and then there was who was it? It was Emily last year. Actually, had businesses she went to and pop by and gave them stuff. But anyway, sphere of influence calls. So you
Yes.
call people,
Yes. Yeah. Email,
you
text. Yeah.
email,
Yeah.
yep.
Newsletter.
Mail
Yeah.
newsletter. You do a mailed one.
Yeah.
Email newsletter. No. Geo farming.
Yes.
You're doing that now. Birthdays. You do those. Note cards,
No.
calendars.
No.
So these are like I can actually, if you want, I could just take them off. Calendars, door knocking,
I stopped, but it is part of my like
Geo
follow-up
farm.
outdoor advertising this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Cold calling. No. You do networks. Yeah. Open houses.
I do 50% of my open houses, I would say.
Yeah. Social media.
Advertising, yeah.
Yeah. Website, lead follow up. Yeah, just follow up calls, open houses. This is just, by the way, this is all customizable. You put in, take out what you do and don't do, right? So anything you don't do here, take it out. If you do stuff, put it in there, and then we'll just talk about your actions every week. What about you, Mark? Um, Mail newsletters,
Yes.
pop buys,
Yes.
sphere of influence calling.
Yes. I'm mostly face to face, but yes.
Yeah, note cards, handwritten notes.
Birthday cards. If special occasion note cards vary periodically, but birthday cards,
I'm gonna leave them on there for now. Calendars. Do you send calendars?
no.
No. Birthday cards, yes.
Yeah.
Email, sphere of
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah.
Uh, Lunches,
Inconsistent, yeah.
social media posts.
Yes, not the automated ones.
Yeah, cold calls.
No.
I'm gonna leave them on there for now. Door knocking.
Okay. Uh, not consistent, but yes.
Okay. Internet leads,
Yes.
open houses,
Yes.
lead follow-up calls,
Yes.
list sold open flyers. There's something somebody did in the past. Um, okay.
Do you
There
want
may
some
be,
stuff that's not on there?
yeah. So what I want you to do is, you can, I mean, I can add them.
No, we don't need to do it live. I'll give me access to it and I'll do it.
You bet.
Then we're not bogging down the time here.
Yeah. So the idea is, we're going to meet every week. We're going to talk about those things you did last week, right? Things that you're going to plan to do in the future. And then we're going to add in some of the things that we're going to need in place. We go back to the original list, things like listing presentations, buying presentations, just making sure that you have it exactly where you want it this year, right? We'll be able to, input some new ideas. And then what I'd like to do actually is open up the floor if anybody has any questions or anything to add. Um, questions for Mark, questions for Miguel, for the program in general. Now is your chance. Nobody?
No one challenging us, eh?
That's okay. Okay, we have
There we go.
one.
We got a
There we
hand
go.
up. You got a hand up.
Go ahead, unmute yourself. That's great.
Yeah, I was just curious for the CRM, Miguel and Mark, do you guys just use the built-in if you guys are with Century 21, do you guys just use the Remarketer CRM or you guys have like a separate CRM use?
Great question. Mark?
I'll let you go, Miguel.
Okay.
So full honesty and transparency, I have always had things written down to be able to follow up with, clients or prospects, but it has never lived in one system, and it has never been organized. So one of my like goals and focuses last year was to actually go through line by line every client, every address, every relationship, every contact detail that I had, and put it on one master list with Glennis, who is like my partner and like admin assistant, to to get it all in one place to implement to into Follow Up Boss. So Follow Up Boss is a system that I'm going to be using. When I first started, I wanted to use Top Producer. It was like, what Follow Up Boss is today back then. When I first started, I think it was $50 a month, and I was like, $50 a month, what are these guys, crazy? I'm not going to spend that. And I never did. And then when I got to a point where I could pay for Top Producer, I paid for it every month because I could, because I had regular commission checks coming in, but then never used it. And then I went from there to Wise Agent, just to be able to keep all my contacts in a digital form. But I've never actually used the power of a CRM. I have now gone into back 22 years, got everything organized, implementing into Follow Up Boss. That's what I'm going to be used going forward. And I think in one of the last office sessions that we had, for anybody who was listening, if you were to ask me my most single biggest regret, would be not to have put my people and my sales and the contact information into a system sooner, and have had worked with it sooner, whether it's the free version, whether it's robust or whether it's not, because it has taken me, I would say, 2 years to go back 22 years to be able to just start over again, like in a sense of getting ready to get ready. So a large part of my plan this year is to lean in on those relationships and deals that I have done, and amplify them and double down on them, because they are in a place where I can see who I have connected with, what I have done with them in a more consistent, full picture way versus sporadic, which has been, my experience in the past.